Right, coach is racing the time before work because even though he has all sorts of fucking vacation he could use, they won't ever fucking approve any of it. So he's stuck working all week up to the Super Bowl instead of trying to get extra fucking shit done. Read a ton of books, etc. It's going to be quite a grind, but let's get right into it. So first thing coach wants to say, so you know he likes the Stanford Cardinal. He's not backing off that pick, but they were never the only team I said to keep an eye out on for. So I got 5 teams: Stanford, UNC, Kansas, UCLA, and Auburn. Those are definitely the 5 that coach is keyed in on. He still likes Stanford, but in that order, it'd be UNC right after them, Kansas, and then Auburn, and then UCLA. Actually, probably last. But so let's look at UNC first. This is how their schedule is shaking out. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Let's start with Stanford. Okay, so. We started out with a win over Denver, CSUF, Northern Arizona, UC Davis, Norfolk State, Santa Clara. We lost to Grand Canyon, lost to Cal Poly. So back-to-back losses. We beat Utah Valley, beat rival Cal, beat Merrimack, lose to Oregon, lose to Clemson, lose to Pittsburgh. So 3 straight losses there. Worst stretch of the season. Bounce back by beating Virginia Tech and Virginia. Lose to Wake Forest. Beat UNC by 1 point on their own court. Smoke Miami, beat Florida State, beat Syracuse, get blown out by SMU, get swept by Wake Forest. So we're on a back-to-back losing streak. Again, we're trying to bounce back with NC State. Then we got Georgia Tech, number 2 Duke, Cal, Boston College, SMU, Notre Dame, and finishing out with Cardinal at the Cardinals. Okay? So that's what our Stanford boys are looking at. We're thinking they're probably going to have to end up winning the ACC tournament if they want to make it in there. Okay, so here's UNC. First, right out the gate, stands out. They beat a school called Elon, as in Elon Musk, huh? And then immediately lose to Kansas, who's on the list. Blow out American University, beat Hawaii, beat Dayton. Lose to number 1 Auburn, who's on the list. Lose to Michigan State, who's on the list. Actually put them at number 6. They might even be ahead of UCLA, but I don't know with the Bill Walton thing and stuff. But Michigan State's definitely a team to keep an eye on. Lose to Alabama, right? So they had 3 straight losses right there as well, just like Stanford. They beat Georgia Tech, beat LaSalle, lose to Florida, beat UCLA. Look at this one. Beat Campbell. Like Dan Campbell, Paris Campbell. That definitely has coach's attention, especially because Michael Jordan's been popping up. Okay, so they lose to Louisville, beat Notre Dame, beat SMU, beat NC State, beat Cal, lose to us, lose to Wick, beat Boston College, lose to Pitt, and get blown out by Duke. And they got, revenge game at Pittsburgh, trying to atone for that loss. Clemson, Syracuse, NC State, UVA, Florida State, Miami, Virginia Tech, and then trying to avenge the loss at number 2 Duke to finish it out. So they definitely have a path into the tournament without winning the ACC. So I'm thinking, hopefully they just kind of pick it up and they're not as motivated to win the whole thing once the tournament rolls around. And then let's see, so Auburn, I don't really feel like running through their whole thing, to be honest with you, but they did beat Iowa State. They lost to Duke. Beat Ohio State, Texas, Tennessee. Tennessee is definitely a team to keep an eye out for, but I'm not super scared of them or nothing. Let's see. So here's the ACC, right? So Stanford currently sitting at 6th, okay, with a 15-8 record, 7-5 in the conference, 2 wins better than UNC, okay, and UNC is still ranked ahead of them, I believe. We'll just skip the rankings for now. It hasn't moved too much. But isn't it interesting? So Campbell played Elon. Let's check out Campbell. You mean the Campbell Fighting Camels? Check this out. Roll Humps. Alrighty. And their mascot is named Gaylord. You're trying to tell me that's not some sort of fruity joke? They got Gaylord the Humping Camel. Okay, and they're orange. So they only won 1 conference championship in 1992. Okay, and when they made the tournament, they lost to Duke in 1992. So their coach is going to make a almost entirely baseless batshit prediction just for fun. They don't even let you bet on this conference, so who the fuck cares? Coach has taken the Fighting Camels to win their conference and upset Duke in the first round of the tournament. I don't actually believe that's going to happen, but that's Coach's like hilarious script of somehow that happening. There's not really any real numbers to support it or anything like that, but it's just the only thing I could possibly think of with them. They did play at Cape Fear. Let's see, but yeah, they're not doing too bad. They could definitely win the conference. And Elon's right there as well. We won a Campbell Elon final. Towson powerhouse there. They might not be having it. Sharon Peters popping in. First, they were saying they were complimenting me on the rap, so thanks for the kind words there. But they said apparently dude never owned or shot alone a Beretta. Apparently dude never owned or alone shot a Beretta. Yeah, the name is cool, but they got some of the worst guns you ever want to own for the protection of you and the fam due to their firing pin and spring issues. Shitty part is you might not even experience it until time you actually need it to work properly, and when you go to pull the trigger, bam, nothing happens and your worst nightmare comes true because you basically just unalived yourself because your enemy was smarter than you by not buying a piece of dumpster trash like a Beretta. So Coach isn't like some sort of gun expert, but he does believe like you can like just use common sense and like the way things sound and are perceived to like make your own decision. I agree, a Beretta sounds like a piece of shit. Like, that doesn't strike any fear into me. Like, what would I trust? Like a Magnum or a revolver or a shotgun. Like just things that just sound real. Shotgun's great. It's a gun that shoots. Like, that's so simple and hilarious. Like, if it doesn't do what it tells you it's doing, it's just very terribly named. And they should have named something else a shotgun. But yeah, basically, Coach is about reliability, etc. He basically likes Smith & Wesson, or what else would be a good one? Yeah, I don't know. Anything simple name. Colt. Let's see. Alrighty. Paris Campbell discussed retiring from the NFL. We already know that. But his wife is named Taylor. It just keeps getting better with this guy. God, I love Paris. Alrighty, so let's see here. 63 catches for 623 yards. Yeah, waived August 27th when he was 27 years old. Let's see. See, it's just weird that they're like making these fluff pieces about him like right now, like, what's this? Oh yeah, hand size. Kenny Pickett has tiny hands, 8.5 inches, bro. You kidding me? You make fucking Jared Goff look respectable? That's just insane. No way in hell Kenny Pickett's ever doing anything. Yeah, so Jared Goff tiny at 9, but Kenny Pickett's is 8.5. Jesus. Tanner McKee, deceivingly acceptable hand size. The way they do the fraction, it makes it look really concerning, like 9 3/8 inches. What the fuck is that? But when you really think about it, it's like, okay, so that's basically 9.5, which is like the baseline for acceptable, and you're only a half inch away from having what would be considered ginormous hands. So I think he's literally right at the threshold of like, yeah, he's fine. Like 9.25 might be a little concerning. 9 3/8. I mean, like, you're legitimately splitting hairs at that point between 9 3/8 and 9.5. I mean, what could really be the difference? A quarter inch. And then, actually not even a quarter, it'd be 1/8 of an inch difference, right? So if you think 1/8 of an inch is going to make the difference in his career, Coach doesn't. So the comic book store, these are just a bunch of books Coach wants to pick up. He did end up picking some of them. Buckle up, this is going to be a long ride too. The comic book story of baseball, the heroes, hustlers, and history-making swings and misses of America's national pastime. Comic book story of basketball, fast break history of hoops. Three Kings race class and the barrier-breaking rivals who launched the modern Olympic age. Baseball in the Garden of Eden, the secret history of the early game. Galloping Ghost, autobiography of Red Grange. There's another Galloping Ghost book. They made a movie with him called The Galloping Ghost. Coach wants that too. The First Star, Barnstorming Tour that launched the NFL. Rise of Modern Football. We're going to want a bunch of those. This Was Football. The Best of the Athletic Boys, The White Man's Impact on John Thorpe. Just sounded like such a stupid title. I had to want to get that one. The Real Americans. So basically about Jim Thorpe and Pop Warner. Path Lit by Lightning. More Jim Thorpe. Undefeated. This one's just called a biography. Unstoppable. That one looks like the lamest of the bunch. Oh, here's Kat. So I appreciate you, Coach. Thank you for good advice and being yourself. I'm a rookie. My boyfriend had 61 cents on a sports app, and I doubled it on the Leafs versus Oilers game. You got to be right about the Eagles. It makes sense. I will always be your 216th subscriber. Now, you're way more than 216th subscriber. Actually reminds me, though, Coach has an announcement. So we just had Sharon on the screen a second ago. It would have been a good opportunity to do it then. Sharon has been moved into the starting lineup. Okay? Now, you're like, oh, whoa, Coach. There's already 5 of us. That's bad news for somebody, right? Well, yeah, sort of. So, yeah, somebody's not going to get playing time. Sharon's got to move up. So, basically, Trevor, you're going to have to sit on the bench next to Coach and grab a clipboard because you're now promoted to assistant coach. So, we got 5 players, and me and Trevor are calling the shots. We got Bud Wilkinson, The Rise of Oklahoma Football. Gettysburg Eddie Plank, A Pitcher's Journey to the Hall of Fame. That's another Gettysburg Eddie book. 12 Mighty Orphans, The Inspiring True Story of the Mighty Mites Who Ruled Texas Football. Junction Boys, How 10 Days in Hell with Bear Bryant Formed a Championship Team. Muggsy, My Life from a Kid in the Projects to the Godfather of Small Ball. Sprawl Ball, A Visual Tour of the New Era of the NBA. Coach has the Hoops Atlas by Kirk already. So to hate like this is to be happy forever. Thoroughly obsessive, intermittently uplifting, and occasionally unbiased account of the Duke-North Carolina basketball rivalry. Big Hair and Plastic Grass, A Funky Ride Through Baseball and America in the Swinging 70s. The Greatest Upset Never Seen, Virginia Charminade in the Game That Changed College Basketball. The Bad Guys Won, A Season of Brawling, Boozing, Bimbo Chasing in Championship Baseball with Straw, Doc, Mookie, Nails, and the Kid, and the rest of the 1986 Mets, the rowdiest team to ever put on a New York uniform, and maybe the best. So just a reminder, these are just all on Coach's wish list right now. What's My Name Full? Sports and Resistance in the United States. Coach did pick up 15 of these, and he'll show you which ones they are at the end. A People's History of Sports in the United States. Let's see, bull baiting, 250 Years of Politics, Protest, and something, I can't read it. Religion of Sports, Navigating the Trials of Life Through the Games We Love. Tyson, Undisputed Truth. Positively Fifth Street, Murders, Cheetahs, and Binion's World Series of Poker. Coach picked that one up. I can hardly remember that. One of a Kind, The Rise and Fall of Stewie the Kid Unger, the world's greatest poker player. Jewish Sports Legends, the International Jewish Sports Hall of Fame. The Miracle at Richfield, Roger Gordon. Coach did buy that book, but they basically canceled the order. He hasn't been able to get another copy since. The Pitch That Killed. Dark Goals, How History's Worst Tyrants Have Used and Abused the Game of Soccer. The Summer of Beer and Whiskey, How Brewers, Barkeeps, Rowdies, Immigrants, and a Wild Pennant Fight Made Baseball America's Game. Rolling Thunder, The Golden Age of Roller Derby and the Rise and Fall of the LA T-Birds. Slouching Towards Fargo, a 2-year saga of saints and sinners in St. Paul. Saga of sinners and St. Paul Saints at the bottom of the Bush Leagues with Bill Murray, Dale Strawberry, Dakota Sadie, and me. Dust Bowl Girls, inspiring story of a team that barnstormed its way to basketball glory. This one's way high at the top of Coach's list, especially because we don't have many soccer ones. Watford Forever, how Graham Taylor and Elton John saved a football club, a town, and each other. The story of the Stanchak Brothers baseball team, baseball's all brothers world champions. God, every sport is just insane. The story of the Masters, drama, joy, and heartbreak at golf's most iconic tournament. Phil, the rip-roaring biography of golf's most colorful superstar. So Coach had always had this book on his list just because it was known to be a really good book, even though Coach never cared about golf. Check it out. Alan Shipnuck. Dude, that's definitely flagged. Playing through modern golf's most iconic players and moments. The Ryder Cup, completed history of golf's greatest competition. Golf's most fascinating rivalry, Tiger and Phil. Sports Illustrated, the World Series. History of the Fall Classic. Sports Illustrated, the baseball book. They got revised and expanded editions of the baseball and football books. We want to get the revised versions. Giannis, the improbable rise of an NBA champion. Mustaches and Mayhem, Charlie O's 3-time champions, Oakland Athletics. So just to show you how hardcore Coach is, we're not leaving any stone unturned. Seeking Redemption, the real story of the beautiful game of skee-ball. Pinball, a graphic history of the silver ball. Coach has actually been to the Pinball World Championships before. Roger C. Sharp pinball photographs by James Hamilton. Why do we want this book? Because it's fucking $300. It's probably awesome. The Boys in the Boat, 9 Americans and their epic quest for gold at the 1936 Berlin Olympics. The 3-Year Swim, the untold story of Maui's Sugar Ditch kids and their quest for Olympic glory. Hand for Dixon, Day of the Dog. Triumph, untold story of Jesse Owens and Hitler's Olympics. Cinderella Man. Friday Night Lights 25th Anniversary Edition. Coach owned this book. He has to replace it. Running for My Life. One Lost Boy's Journey from the Killing Fields of Sudan to the Olympic Games. The Tiger Bells, Olympic Legends from Tennessee State. Workhorse, from an Amish farm to the NFL gridiron. Bottom of the 33rd, Hope, Redemption, and baseball's longest game. Harvard beats Yale 29-29. Coach has seen the movie, but story of most famous football game ever played in the Ivy League as told by the players. The making of Slapshot. Macho Row, 1993 Phillies and baseball's unwritten code. Arriba, the heroic life of Roberto Clemente. The Wax Pack, on the open road in search of baseball's afterlife, whatever the fuck that means. Oscar Charleston, the life and legend of baseball's forgotten player. Roger Maris, baseball's reluctant hero. Glory in Their Times, the story of early days of baseball told by the men who played it. That's Lawrence Ritter. The Card, collectors, con men, and the true story of history's most desired baseball card. Coach has always been obsessed with the T. Honus Wagner. Mint Condition, how baseball cards become an American obsession. 1962, baseball and America in the time of JFK. The Miracle of St. Anthony, a season with Coach Bob Hurley in basketball's most improbable dynasty. James Naismith, Basketball, Its Origins and Development. The Basketball Diaries. Coach has read this book. He just needs to replace the copy. Beta Ball, how Silicon Valley and science built one of the greatest basketball teams in history. It's about the Warriors. Counting Coup, a true story of basketball and honor on the Little Bighorn. A history of basketball in 15 sneakers. Sports Illustrated, The Basketball Vault. The Bob Verga Shift, how one man's illness changed history and saved Duke basketball. Hard Court, stories from 75 years of the NBA. Mad Seasons, the story of the first women's professional basketball league. Coach knows this is for kids, but he still wants it. Sports Illustrated Kids, football's funniest mascots. There's 2 books on Amos Alonzo Stagg that Coach wants to pick up. One's called College Football's Man in Motion. The other, College Football's Greatest Pioneer. Then we got the All-Americans. From the football field to the battlefield. Carlisle versus Army. You know, Jim Thorpe beating Army with the Carlisle Indians. Coach, this is way up on the list. Almost bought it last night, but they want $20 for it. Behind the Lens, the World Hockey Association 50 years later. There's also an NIHL 100 years book. Coach wants that too, so those are going to be the 2 big hockey books we pick up. American Disruptor, Scandalous Life of Leland Stanford. Not so much sports, but he is the namesake of Stanford, so Coach says it counts. All Things Possible, Kurt Warner, My Story of Faith Football in the First Miracle Season. Surf Tribe, Coach doesn't know what this one's about, but it's expensive and it looks cool. Encyclopedia of Baseball Statistics, New Bill James, Historical Baseball Abstract. Bowlerama, the Architecture of Mid-Century Bowling. Ballyhoo, the roughhousers, con artists, and wild men who invented professional wrestling. 3 different John McEnroe books. You Cannot Be Serious, Serious, and But Seriously. Ball 450th Anniversary Edition. So Many Ways to Lose. Amazing True Story of the New York Nets, the best worst team in sports. Bodies Built for the Games, the Prairie Schooner Anthology of Contemporary Sports Writing. The Kaepernick Effect, Taking a Knee, Changing the World. Pulling No Punches, the Sam Langford story. We also got Sam Langford, boxing's greatest uncrowned champion. Work, Fighter, Play Ball, how Bethlehem Steel helped baseball stars avoid World War I. This one sounds awesome. Fight to the Finish, the Bard's Battle of 1889. Gentleman Jim Corbett, Joe Choisky, and the fight that launched boxing's modern era. Then we got Mashi, Unfulfilled Baseball Dreams of the first Japanese major leaguer. Dan Coughlin, just one more story, last batch of stories about the most unusual, eccentric, and outlandish people I've known in 5 decades as a sports journalist. Pete Maravich, authorized biography. Ajax, the Dutch, the War, the strange tale of soccer during Europe's darkest hour. We got Burning Down the House, inside story of 6 MIT students who took Vegas for millions. Slam Dunk, the true story of basketball's first Olympic gold medal team. City of Dreams, Dodger Stadium, and the birth of modern Los Angeles. Stealing Home, Los Angeles, the Dodgers, and the lives caught in between. Daybreak at Chavez Ravine, Fernando Mania, and the remaking of the LA Dodgers. Let's see, the era when the Yankees, Giants, and Dodgers ruled the world from 47 to 57. The Boys of Summer by Roger Kahn. Blood in the Garden, the flagrant history of the 1990s New York Knicks. Summer of 49, the classic chronicle of baseball's most magnificent season, as seen through the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry. When basketball was Jewish, the 16th round, the story of the hurricane. 2 Seconds from Glory, autobiography of Meldrick Taylor. Coach has always wanted this book. He's a big Meldrick Taylor fan. When the Garden was Eden, Clyde, the Captain, Dollar Bill, and the Glory Days of the New York Knickerbockers. Pele, Why Soccer Matters. 2 different SMU books. We got The Pony Trap and A Payroll to Meet. The Tragedy of the Hogue Twins. We got Big Boy and Shorty Hogue. Jail Blazers, How Portland Trail Blazers Became the Bad Boys of Basketball. Autobiography of Dr. J. Uncensored Life and Times of Chocolate Thunder, Daryl Dawkins. 2 different Iverson books, Not a Game and Only the Strong Survive. 2 Sides of Glory, 1986 Red Sox in Their Own Words. When the Monarchs Reigned. Kansas City's 1942 Negro League champions. And keep in mind, Coach only picked the best ones that he wants the most. There's actually a lot that are on this list. The Year Willie Mays and the First Generation of Black Superstars Changed Major League Forever, 1954. History of the World Series, The Grandest Stage. K, A History of Baseball in 10 Pitches. Gloves Off, 40 years of unfiltered sports writing. Banana Ball, The Unbelievably True Story of the Savannah Bananas. Monsters, the 1985 Chicago Bears and the Wild Heart of Football. Hoop Genius, How a Desperate Teacher and a Rowdy Gym Class Invented Basketball. Coach wants that one really bad, it looks ridiculous. By the Grace of the Game, The Holocaust, A Basketball Legacy, and an Unprecedented American Dream. Bronx is Burning, 1977 Baseball Politics and the Battle for the Soul of a City. Seasons in Hell, Billy Martin, Whitey Herzog, and the Worst Baseball Team in History. The Soul of Baseball, Road Trip Through Buck O'Neill's America. I'll Always Get Up, Larry Brown. Official Ohio State Football Encyclopedia. What It Means to Be a Buckeye, Jim Tressel. Brian Dawkins, Blessed by the Best, Journey to Canton and Beyond. David Tank Abbott, Bar Brawler. New Jack, Memoir of a Pro Wrestling Extremist. Cage Kings, How an Unlikely Group of Moguls, Champions, and Hustlers transformed the UFC into a $10 billion industry. So that's the number 1 UFC book to pick up. We also like the UFC Encyclopedia. That looks nice. Scars and Stripes, Tim Kennedy's Unapologetically American Story, Fighting the Taliban, UFC Warriors, and Myself. We need Jose Canseco's Juiced, of course, number 33, Wild Times, Rampant Roids, Smash Hits, and How Baseball Got Big. The Fix is in. The showbiz manipulations of the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NASCAR. Now, this is the same author that was recommended in the comments by our boy, shouted out, Larceny Games, Sports Gambling, Game Fixing, and the FBI, so we want both of those. 3 Ring Circus, Kobe, Shaq, Phil, and the Crazy Years of the Lakers Dynasty. 75 Legends of the Lakers. This isn't high up on the list, but looks nice. Lehigh, Montville, Tall Men, Short Shorts. 1969 NBA Finals, Walt Russ, Lakers, Celtics, and a very young sports reporter. It's called Tall Men, Short Shorts. The Big Bam, Life and Times of Babe Ruth. That's supposed to be a really good one. This author has a bunch here. So we got the biography of an American hero. He also wrote this one, which Coach picked up. You excited for this? At the Altar of Speed. New York Times bestseller, The Fast Life and Tragic Death of Dale Earnhardt. So that's actually why Coach went out and bought a bunch of books last night, because we had to get this one. Might as well throw some other ones in there. Coach found a sale that was buy 2, get 1 free. So we got 15 total. 5 of them were free. R.A. Dickey, Wherever I Wind Up. My Quest for Truth, Authenticity, and the Perfect Knuckleball. Praying for Gil Hodges. Memoir of the 1955 World Series and One Family's Love of the Brooklyn Dodgers by a Pulitzer Prize winner. Their Lives. How Juan Marichal and John Roseborough turned baseball's ugliest brawl into a story of forgiveness. Coach bought this book. Poppy, My Story, David Ortiz. 1941, The Greatest Year in Sports. When Chicago Rolled Baseball. Cubs White Sox World Series of 1906. I Never Had It Made, an autobiography of Jackie Robinson. Baseball Maniac's Almanac, the absolutely positively and without question greatest book of facts, figures, and astonishing lists ever compiled. Spalding's World Tour, the epic adventure that took baseball around the globe and made it America's game. Earl Hershiser, Out of the Blue. There's another book called Out of the Blue. It made me like that one less, but let's see. Numbers Don't Lie, Tigers, Angels in the Outfield book, Baseball Between the Numbers, Everything You Know About the Game is Wrong. There's also like a hockey book that's like How to Watch Hockey by Taking Your Eye Off the Puck. That one sounds interesting. My Grandfather and the Story of Washington's Only World Series Championship. That book must be old because the Nationals won not too long ago. The Zen of Zim, Baseball, Beanballs, and Bosses. Don Zim is considered like one of the best memoirs ever, so that's why I picked that one up. One Shot at Forever, Small Town Unlikely Coach in a Magical Baseball Season, The Macon Ironman. Carson Wentz, Soaring with the Eagles. Coach picked that one up too. It was just too corny to not get. Screech Owls, Mystery at Lake Placid. I don't know. Got this one, though. Catch This, Going Deep with the NFL Sharpest Weapon, Terrell Owens. Lawrence Taylor, Icons. I don't care that much about that one. I'd rather get Over the Edge. That looks like the best one. The Dark Side of the Game, Tim Green. Complete Encyclopedia of Soccer. Miracle in the Cave, the 12 Lost Boys, their coach, and the heroes who rescued them. Dennis Bird, Rise and Walk, the Trial and Triumph of Dennis Boyd. Season of Life, A Football Star, A Boy, A Journey to Manhood. Sports Illustrated, the football book. We want the expanded, like I said. Rutgers Football, A Gridiron Tradition in Scarlet. We care about them because Rutgers is the oldest football team. Standing Tall, the Kevin Everett story. Confessions of a Spoil Sport, My Life in Hard Times Fighting Sports Corruption at an Old Eastern University. Winning in the Trenches, A Lifetime of Football. When the Tuna Went Down to Texas, how Bill Parcells led the Cowboys back to the Promised Land. Case Keenum, Praying for More. Soldiers First, Duty, Honor, Country, and Football at West Point. Champions, 4 men, 2 teams, and the Breaking of Pro Football's Color Line. That one's high up on the list. Breaking Free with Herschel Walker. My Life with Dissociative Identity Disorder. That just sounds insane. Through a Pigskin Prism. Unlikely Journey to and through the NFL. Soccernomics, Why England Loses, Germany and Brazil Win, and why the U.S., Japan, Australia, Turkey, and even India are destined to become the new kings of the world's most popular sport. We got The Bare Truth About Jim McMahon. Mosquito Bowl, Game of Life and Death in World War II. That's from the author of Friday Night Lights, so that's probably interesting. We got the book Concussion. We want that. And let's see. War on the Floor. It's about arena football. Ultimate Basketball, More Than 100 Years of the Sport's Evolution. The Punch, One Night, Two Lives, and the Fight That Changed Basketball Forever. Coach bought that one. We got this one too. Tip Off, How the 1984 Draft Changed Basketball Forever. Can I Keep My Jersey? 11 Teams, 5 Countries. My Life as a Basketball Vagabond. Blue Blood, Duke, Carolina, Inside the Most Storied Rivalry in Sports. You Gotta Believe, looks like something about the Charlotte Hornets. Busting Vegas, MIT, WizKid brought the casinos to their names. That one actually looks lame. I'm just going to go with the one that's where it says the 6 MIT kids, right? Wise Guys, The National Champion BU Terriers, The Blizzard of 78, and The Road to the Miracle on Ice. D2 Mighty Ducks paperback. They got D3 as well. Apparently no original Mighty Ducks novel, though. The Making of Slapshot. They re-released it, so I don't have to pay $50. Right? That's awesome. We're going to get that one sooner than later. Fabric of the Game. The stories behind the NHL's names, logos, and uniforms. That's way high on the list. We want that one bet. Rocking the Pond, first season of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. That would be an example of bottom of the list, but still on the list. This one would be awesome. This isn't a book, but a trading card. Julius Erving's Squires, Virginia Squires rookie card. Even in bad condition, you're not getting it for less than $250. Coach would probably, if he had $1 million, he'd probably drop $250 on the Dr. J rookie card, especially because you can get the Iverson one for $5. And then let's see, that's just like some hype stuff. I did make a little hype video. We might as well just drop it on its own thing. Let's get back over what we need. So Jalen Carter, thought it was interesting. You know, he's from Georgia. Jimmy Carter just died. 98, he's got the 86 coding. I didn't think too much about him. 67 tackles. He got the 76 there. 18th overall prospect in his class. We like that, don't we? So there we go. And then, let's see. Gotta be something interesting there. I don't know why. I took a picture. Not too interested in Jalen Carter anyways. So, oh yes, this is good stuff. So you're going to be glad you stuck around until now. So, if you haven't heard, a lot of the Eagles players are battling flu-like symptoms. Okay, laryngitis, etc. And everybody's saying like, oh, what a bad time for them to get sick. Well, you know what? Coach just so happened to read Doug Peterson's Fearless about the 2018 Eagles Super Bowl win. And that was very early on. It's like, oh, preparing for the Super Bowl, I just couldn't believe everybody was coming down with the flu. Right, so this is just further vindicates Coach's belief that, you know, the fix is in for the Eagles. It's just smoke. Let's see what we got here. Sorry about that. Okay, Brandon Lee Graham, as in, you know, Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's kid. Coach was a big believer in Brandon Graham from day one, sincerely. A lot of people gave him a hard time. He's from Detroit. We like that a lot. Went to Michigan. Let's see, what else we got? 76.5 sacks. So there's Brandon Lee. You know, he's from Oakland. You know, if you're not familiar, he was killed filming the movie The Crow. We got a cult Elvis. This is Joe Rogan saying this. Was Presley a telepathic demigod who could heal the sick and change the weather? So Jason Peters, this one's interesting. So like it says Jason Raynard Peters. Isn't that kind of like Rayno? Right? We got on our star for Stanford. So Raynard, he was undrafted. And obviously went on to be like one of the best left tackles in Eagles history, right? And he got arrested for disturbing the peace in Louisiana where the Super Bowl's being held. Well, his replacement, LaFoga Jordan Mailata, coach right away was like, whoa, Jordan, like Michael Jordan, right? So he was on the under 18s team. He's drafted 233rd, 7th round. Okay. 2018's when he joined. But like, he's the son of, you know, Australian immigrants, got New Zealand citizenship. But check this out. Middle name Jordan was given to him by his sister after the basketball superstar Michael Jordan. What the fuck was he named by his sister, first of all? And I like they just come right out like, yeah, it's just a Michael Jordan thing. So there's, oh yeah, here's all the ones that I picked up. So Zim, Tip Off. We got Straight Flush, a true story of 6 college friends who dealt their way to $1 billion online poker empire. Baseball as America, seeing ourselves through the sports we love. Let's see. Gil Hodges, Dark Side of Football. Grover Cleveland Alexander. Spalding's World Tour. Oh Baby, I Love It. That one's like got a really goofy name. Alright. Coach, gonna end it there. Appreciate you.